I'm going to have to restart. Okay. All right, we're going to start this all over again because apparently I didn't have this on, so nobody could hear me. So we're going to say hello, 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 my friends, once again. Today is Monday, July 15th, and today we are making cabbage steaks with ground beef on top. We're going to make some roasted potatoes and some more. We'll figure out what else we're going to make as we go. Depends on how much time we have. But to get us started, we are going to cut up a cabbage. And just so y'all are aware, there is a parasite out there. I am aware of that. I have checked what to do, how to do it, and what I will be doing for myself to make sure that we are safe is I am going to, I took the outer leaves off. I washed it very thoroughly. And then I am going to make sure that we heat this. That's the other thing. Cooking does kill the parasite. So, hey, Christy, how you doing? Just talking about I think it's called Kleidospora parasite. I got to tell you, I threw away 3 bags of salad today. I had the smaller salads. They were on special last week. And we've had a lot of outbreaks of the parasite in Ohio. So I'm not taking any chances. And a lot of people said you got to watch all your produce. And from my research, because this parasite's been around for a long time, the most important thing to do is to make sure that you cook your food, which is why salads and berries can be such a problem. If you eat the berries, cook them like in a tart or something like that, it kills the parasite. So I think that's good information to know. So I am sharing what I found so that we can all stay safe. And I washed this very carefully. That's also why a lot of people are like, we really should grow our own food. Then we know that what I'm seeing is that this could be from tainted water, which is kind of gross because it's got to be tainted with something really gross for this to thrive. So, anywho, so I'm getting these ready. I'm not going to cook all of these because I would like my husband to have a hot meal and I get done before he comes home. And some things are fine. They stay warm, but I'm going to do this and then I'll call him when I get done and just tell him if he calls me when he leaves, it'll be nice and hot and ready for him. So I know, I agree, Christy. It does feel like it's something new every day, some new crazy thing we got to deal with. And it's annoying, to be honest. For I just want a week where nothing crazy happens. So hey, Joan. So anyway, but I just figured if anybody's watching, and I know you guys, my regulars, are awesome, but in case anybody would come on, I wouldn't eat that cabbage. Well, I've looked, so I have researched it, and as long as I cook it to at least 165 degrees, it will be fine. So it kills it, which is interesting. And you can. It's funny. I saw, and I started following her today. There is actually can you imagine being a salad, if you are a salad channel right now? But she does salads with little to no lettuce. So most of her salads are just vegetable-based salads. So, hi, Ruby. I love it when my regulars are here. You guys are awesome. So, just kind of getting the beginnings going here. And it's funny, it's kind of hit me a couple of times where I know there's probably new people that are like, why is she doing all this? But you know what? When we cook at home, we all do this stuff. And I think it's disingenuous say you can make a meal in 30 minutes or less. And you get to this meal and you're like, how in the world did this person make this in 30 minutes or less, right? I've done that countless times where I'm like, this can't be right. They can't have made it in this amount of time. So I figure when I'm doing it, I'm doing it in real time. And really, the ones that take more than an hour, that's what we're tending to make those our videos, because some of these things take 2 and 3 hours to make. And that's not always just because of prep time. It's because sometimes you got to chill it, or, put it in the fridge overnight, or bring it up to temp slowly. Anything I would make in a crock pot generally takes a lot more time. So, and we're roasting potatoes, and I forgot to buy potatoes. When I bought my cabbage today, I meant to buy potatoes, completely forgot. So we're using canned. And that's, again, the realities of life. Sometimes we forget to buy something at the grocery. It's not an ingredient. It's just something I was going to make. And I know people are going to go, how could you forget the potatoes? I don't know. I did. I just did. I'll put these on the sink so they can go into recycle. I'm going to wash off my potatoes here real quick. Just kind of rinse them off. Whoa, come on back here, you. We're going to let those drain for a few minutes. And while those drain, we're going to end up putting them on there. But because I had to spray the basket that they're going in, this has got already got some stuff on it for me. So that's great. So I'm going to make just 2 to start. I think I'll do one of the ones that's, actually, I'll do it this way, because IT guy will eat one before he goes, and then I'll have other ones to make a little later. So put this away. So I'm going to season these. Where's I go? Oh, I'm going to season up these cabbage. Yeah, my husband loves a canned mushroom. Now he prefers them. If we've got the time, he loves it if we can. It's olive oil, by the way. It's just pressurized olive oil, that's all. And so I make sure I get these up to temp. I'm going to cook them. I'm going to put the meat on, and then I'm going to cook them again. So that's why I want to get these going. Like I said, y'all do what works for you. If you want to cut the potatoes, you cut the potatoes. If you don't want to cut the potatoes, don't cut the potatoes. It's just, if I tell you to put a bean in, you want a different bean, you use a different bean. If you don't like garlic, I'm doing garlic powder. I'm doing garlic powder, onion powder, and pepper. And then I'm going to pop this in the air fryer. We're going to put that on 400 for 15 minutes. Give that a start. Because thanks, Christy, I appreciate that. Okay, and I started working on next week's. I'm kind of excited about next week. I think we're going to have some fun things to make. We're going to do a Taco Tuesday, but we're going to do and I got to figure out how to make this work. So we're going to do a smash burger taco made with the flavor of Skyline chili. So we're going to make it a Cincinnati Taco Tuesday kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes. And then what else did I have that we were going to do? Gotta think. That's kind of the crazy one. So then we have another one that's not quite so wild, if you will. You know what? I'm going to keep this aside. My husband actually likes raw cabbage, so I'm going to keep that one piece aside for him. Actually, I'm going to keep this piece aside because it doesn't have the core in it at all. So he'll be delighted that I kept that for him. He doesn't always get that, so. But gosh, you know what? I got it right here. So here we go. What are we going to do next week? Oh yeah. Okay, so Monday is, remember when we did the chicken nugget taste test? We're going to take the nuggets that didn't have a ton of breading on them. We've still got a half a bag of those, and I'm going to make sesame chicken out of that. So I'm excited to do that. So we know it'll be gluten free. And then we're going to do the Skyline Smash Burgers on Tuesday. We're going to make a keto flatbread on Wednesday, and I haven't decided the toppings yet. I've got about 6 or 7 different things I could do. Definitely pizza, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do for the rest. But then also, it's funny, I said I never want to make a beef Wellington again, but I found this really great recipe for a beef Wellington appetizer. So it's not the whole 3-day process. I can do it all at one time. So we're going to do that. So I'm really excited about that. And that's actually kind of a lead into when we get to the holidays. I will be doing a series of gluten-free cookies that are just naturally gluten-free. I will be doing a series of desserts that are naturally gluten-free and appetizers. So very excited. Very excited. So season these up. We're going to put those aside. Again, I'll use these when Mr. 513 is on his way home. I'll throw those in there. And there may or may not be enough beef to put on them, but he won't care if it's just regular old cabbage steaks. He'll be delighted. Now for his, when I make his, I will tell you this up front. I will be putting pepper jack cheese on his because he likes spicy. I do not. He does. And he will be delighted. And also, if you go to make that French onion chicken, it was really interesting. He was talking about from yesterday when he was eating it. He had a really good idea. He said, "What if you put some Cholula in this just ahead of time? You know, so it can cook through, and it won't make it super spicy. It'll just make it delicious." He's not wrong. I think that would be a great idea. So. Yeah, you know what? And you find out, what's really fun is when you find out you're glutening yourself. And I have done it a couple of times. And you're like, oh, so this was why my stomach's been bothering me the last couple days. Or this is why my joints have ached the last couple of weeks. When I started eating garlic crisp, and it was so good. And I had checked all the chili crisp, and none of it had any kind of gluten in it. Forgot to check the garlic crisp though, and guess what? It's got soy sauce in it. So most soy sauce, not all, but hi Donna, welcome in. So yeah, I was glutening myself with soy sauce, and then I was in a gluten-free group, and somebody said something about red lentils. I did, actually. I said something about red lentils. And I said something about lentils. And somebody said, remember to check your red lentils because they could have wheat in them. I was like, what? So I went and looked, and guess what? My red lentils say may contain wheat. And I was like, oh, this is why I've been feeling bad. Because I was using it for stuff. So the stuff in the cans they don't put red lentils in cans because the red lentils kind of disappear. But yeah, they all say it. They all say may contain wheat. And I was like, heck on it. So yeah, Ruby, sometimes when you think you finally got it licked, it still comes up and bites you in the behind. So I'm going to switch here. We're going to grab out these grab these. I don't want to do a lot of dishes, but I'm going to have to. You know what? I'm just going to throw them on the pan. I think I told you guys that IT guy is, he's staying at my niece's house. He's dog sitting this week. So it just kind of throws and I'm, hooray for him. I mean, she's paying for it and stuff, so that's great. But it throws off the juju of the house. We kind of have this rhythm of the house, and it's a little different because he's not here. So, like I said, glad for him. He's making some money, and the hubs and I would call it a little vacation. So we're by ourselves, so that's great. But as a matter of fact, I'm in a book club, and I needed to listen to the book. So, cauliflower steaks would work too. And one of the best, oh my gosh, it was in Clearwater, Florida. There was a restaurant, first time I ever had a cauliflower steak, and they marinated them. They were like an inch thick, probably only got 2 out of each cauliflower. And then they marinated them. And I had that on a Good Friday for Lent. Oh my goodness. And it was so well made. It was like when I was done, I was fully satisfied. Sometimes when you eat a vegetable version of things, it can be kind of like, well, that was disappointing. Because it seems like there's nothing there. But these were so well seasoned and so well cooked, and they were grilled. It's one of those things you can't necessarily duplicate, is when they throw it on a grill at a restaurant. Oh my gosh, so good. But let's see here. So we're mixing lentils and ground beef because that's going to be our burger topping. So I'm going to add in some pepper to that. And again, the onions and the garlic. So this is some garlic powder. So, oh yeah, you feel like you're reading all the time, Christy. You do. You cannot just trust stuff anymore. A lot of seasonings have wheat in them, so you have to be really careful about those, especially spice blends. Okay, I put some onion powder in here, but I'm also going to use, instead of chopping up an onion, I'm going to use some dried onions today. I love them in a burger. And hang on. Excuse me. The pepper got me. I'm going to wash my hands off. So, Eden, Wisconsin. Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart would have a heart attack if she saw me cooking. I'm not perfectionist enough for her, I don't think. Wrong thing. All right, I'm going to add a little soy sauce. You can use Worcestershire sauce, whatever. Today it's tamari actually, and it's 50. It's lower sodium. And I forgot the Worcestershire, so I was actually going to put some of that in there too. But I don't have it, so I'm not going to worry about it. So, anyway. Yeah. Oh, gosh. It was so good. I don't know if that restaurant's still there. I know exactly where it is. One of my oldest friends, she and her husband had a condo there for many, many years. And they've since sold it. But they it was really nice. They were close enough to like the center of everything that you could walk. So we would walk to breakfast, and my friend does not cook. So I would cook one night, um, just kind of in appreciation for inviting me every year. And but she didn't, she's not a cook at all. Never really has been. She will, but she doesn't like it. Um, she has one of my favorite cooking stories ever, and we laugh about it, and she's okay with me sharing it. But when she and her husband first got married, she was all proud of herself because she made a whole meal. I don't remember what kind of meat she made, but she made some meat and a vegetable and mashed potatoes from scratch, and she was so proud of herself. And so, yes, I have oregano in my. I might have my own chili. It's a taco seasoning. Use it for tacos, and I use it for um, and I use it for chili, and I use it for a lot of things actually. But it has oregano in it for sure. So I will be making that one live one of these days here soon because I'm just about out of it. I need to make some more. All right, I am going to. How do I want to do this? I'll use this. So I'm going to make some patties here. They'll just go right on the. Kind of want to fit these. You know what? I'm just going to take the gloves off. I'll wait. I'll just get a new pair. These are biodegradable for anybody who needs to know. Got my celery seed. So I will put that on top, and then I will mix it just a tiny bit more. Celery seed's good for your liver, and it's good for helps with swelling. If you get like swollen ankles, it'll help with that. IT guy, I need you to get me the milk, darling. And then while we wait, I'm going to go ahead and season these up too. You know what? I'll season them, then I'll stir them. So once again, we're going to do some garlic powder. And then we're going to do some onion powder. Okay, you guys, I don't know if I made it on camera. Did I make the cherry jello on camera with the Cool Whip in it the other day? I don't think I did. I think I made that myself. That was an epic fail. It's like rubbery. It's gross. So, no. There's, yeah, on the left side, there's a 2-cup thing of milk. This is also the, I'm going to put a little celery seed on here. And some paprika. This is smoked paprika, so it'll give it kind of a smoky taste. You can put cumin on here. I'm just going to stir this up real quick. Like I said, this has already been sprayed with the spray to keep everything from sticking. And these are small, so they shouldn't take too long to roast. So I'm just going to spread those out in an even layer, or mostly even layer. You know, we're not perfect. We're not Martha Stewart. We just cook in our houses, right? So we're not Martha. We love Martha, but we're not Martha. So I saw that. That is really great that they make a canned milk that's lactose free. This is just regular old milk. Well, 2%, but, and I've been wanting to try this. This is a 0 sugar Jello vanilla pudding. The chocolate's good. I haven't had the vanilla. And all it really takes, okay, is you pour this in. the Jello, like I said, the Jello instant pudding. 2 cups of milk. And you stir it for 2 minutes. So that's all we're going to do real quick. Yeah, all of a sudden what is this? Trying to teach my nieces and nephews how to make authentic Creole. Love it. Love it. Ooh, and the French Creole language. Okay. So did you ever live in that area of Louisiana that's Cajun and Creole? I'm wondering, Donna, or have you always lived in the Arizona area? So I'm about 30 seconds in. Then I'm going to pour them into these lovely little dishes, and we're going to pop them in the fridge. So IT guy's going to pop them in the fridge for me. There are a lot of things out there that if you know the right places to go and the right people to ask, you will find all kinds of really great information. It's just like I was in a group one time and they were talking about if you get gluten, that you should have activated charcoal. And I am going to preface this by saying I am not a medical professional. If you are someone who has a problem with gluten, please consult your medical team before taking advice from someone off the internet. But activated charcoal has helped me out a lot. I've gotten gluten twice where I've taken it, and within an hour I feel better. Again, my doctor knows what I'm doing. We discussed it, and she is okay with me taking it. So I don't know if it would interfere with any kind of medical conditions, but just because it might, I don't want anybody to take that advice from me and make themselves even sicker. So, all right, we're good. Oh, that's nice. All right. So we're going to do, I'm just going to pour this in here. You guys eating grapes. Stay there. I would normally say you could put berries on this, but I'm not sure I trust any berries right now. I've got some blueberries in there, but I hear it's mostly raspberries that are causing the major issues out there. Okay. Just gonna put a little more, of course. My house, my rules. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that one I'll be buying again. So soft set in 2 minutes. I'm going to pop that in the, like I said, I'm going to pop that in the fridge, and that'll be dessert for tonight. Sometimes we make a little extra something, just because. And when it's easy and it only takes 2 minutes, why not, right? All right, so we're going to put that to the side. Get our gloves out. These guys, I'm going to go ahead and those right there for now. I just realized something. I need to get my gloves on for those. Is she a little discombobulated today? Yes. Yes, she is. So we are going to go small for the small one. Another small one. don't want these too thick because we do want them to cook all the way through. Just a little more for the bigger one. So nice. You've got a lot of heritage in this country, being Creole and Native. That's cool. I didn't know that, Joan. I didn't know that you lived in New Orleans for 5 years. Been a few times in my life. I love that city. I don't know that I'd want to live there, but I do love the city. I've been there for sporting events twice, and then I was there when I was a kid. I saw my first person who gets paid for certain acts in that city. I was 14 when I saw her, and she was my age. I was wild. Got an education that day, I'll tell you. Okay, we're gonna pop these burgers in there to cook. And we're gonna switch this to air fry. We're gonna go another 15 minutes. Hopefully that will take care of what we need. And I'm gonna get one more set of gloves because my timing is off today. But, well, what we've got, I'll show you really quickly. Fashion Creator, what we're doing, because I have another pan of them for when my husband gets home, so he can make some for himself for dinner and for lunches. So I've cut these different thicknesses, so forgive me for that one. But then we're going to take, actually, will I cook that? You know what? I will. I'll cook these guys a little bit longer and just cook them one time. I'll go lower and slower with it when my husband's on his way home from work. So, what, the pudding? Yeah, I'll get it in a sec. So we're going to take these seasoned cabbage steaks. We're going to put some burger on top of it. This one happens to have, in addition to the ground beef, we've got some lentils in there for extra fiber. Right now, just make sure that you cook things thoroughly because of the, I think it's called Cliospora parasite. We don't want anybody getting sick. From what I'm understanding, if you cook it to at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, then you should be good. So that's the prevailing wisdom right now, anyway. So that's what we're gonna cook, and then I'll put some cheese on top of that. Like I said, my husband's will get the we'll get the pepper jack. I'll get regular cheese. My puddings, I'm going to put some lid. Oh, I'm just going to hand them to IT guy because he's got the lids. So he's going to put the lids on them and put them away for me. All right, so tell me is it matcha chew? Tell me what that is. Love learning about this stuff. We made something called Full Madame yesterday, Monday, today's Wednesday. And it was so fascinating learning about this dish. So yeah, once we cook these, then you can put whatever kind of cheese you want on them. We get these from Costco, the variety tray. And my husband gets all the spicy cheese, and my son and I get all the rest. So, oh, yeah. Okay, there are certain things that I miss at certain times. And one of the things that I miss is being able to eat things like beignets. But we do have a restaurant here that does a gluten-free beignet, and they call them donut holes, but it's a beignet, I'm telling you. It's not the square ones, it's the round ones. But yeah, things like beignets, so good. And when we were downtown, we could not get into Cafe Du Monde to get beignets, but where we were staying across Lake Pontchartrain, we were in Covington, Louisiana, and there was a satellite Cafe Du Monde, and we could go there, and we got their beignets there. So that was lovely and wonderful and exciting to be able to do that. So I'm put those aside for my husband. And since I've got a little extra time, this is something we do. If you're a purist, you might just want to cry when you see what I'm about to do. But because I don't break my asparagus, I cut it. So apologies if that bothers you. But it's one of those who got time for that kind of thing. So, well, I'm not sure what else I can tell you. Fashion creator, I cut the cabbages into rounds, calling them steaks. We put meat on top, and after they cook, we'll put cheese on top. That's how we get the cheesy cabbage steaks. So it's also it's also burger week here, so it's kind of like a burger too. So that's what we've got. Put my cheese back over here. I'm gonna get. Okay, so this is the little trick I learned because asparagus can be a pain, and the little pieces can go at the bottom, can go everywhere. So I cut off the tops like this. Also, it's getting to the end of asparagus season. So if you buy a bag like this, you are going to want to make sure that the tips are not mushy. It's a good thing to do. Just keep an eye on. I had 2 bags in 2 weeks from Costco that were just terrible. So they didn't last a day. First one I took back, I thought, first one, shame on you. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But I cut the top of the bag. I pull it out like this. And then, where'd my knife go? Where are you, buddy? There it is. Take my handy dandy knife. Now, there are some that are still, actually I did pretty well. This one I'll cut a little bit higher. But then all you have to do is go through and cut maybe a few. That one's going to be fine. That one's going to be woody all the way through, so we're not going to eat that one. But then, instead of having to then you just go, boink, ta-da, in the garbage. Isn't that awesome? So I'm going to wash these real quick. Like I said, I'm washing all the produce these days. I'm not taking any chances, especially since I believe this is Michigan asparagus, and Michigan and Ohio and West Virginia. Michigan, Ohio, West Virginia, and one other state are where they have, might be North Carolina. They have the highest incidence of the parasite. So this is such an easy way to make asparagus. I'm not kidding you guys. So easy. This is about 3/4 of a cup of water. Turn on my burner. Medium to medium high heat. And again, season how you like. I'm going to hit it with some garlic and onion powder. So Yeah, we tried to go to the one down on down in the French Quarter. It was just packed, but we were there New Year's Day, so we were there for the Sugar Bowl, and it was just the whole place was just crazy packed with people. It was the year, and I apologize if you're not a fan of this school. I always say you cheer for where your money goes. My son went to Ohio State University, and he is an absolute sports fan, huge sports fan, and we gave them tickets. We gave him tickets for Christmas, and my middle son. They both like football. My youngest could have cared less. So he and my husband stayed at the hotel, and I took the two boys and my son's then girlfriend, who is now his wife. We all went to the game. It was huge fun. We met some of the Alabama fans, and they were shocked at how many of our fans were there. So we're going to put this on here. Once it comes to a boil, it only needs to go, it depends on how you like your asparagus. If you like your asparagus crisp, which I kind of do, you can go as little as maybe 4 minutes. And if you like it where it's a little less crispy, then you can, if you like it less crispy, just cook it longer. It's easy. That's why I said it's such an easy vegetable to make. It's mind-blowing. And then you can season it however you want. We will season it with a little bit of Parmesan cheese, or I will. So I love asparagus too, Christy. Yeah. Who doesn't love those beignets? I mean, so good. And then they had like a chocolate dip you could get, and it was just, oh, it was to die for. But that was a long time ago when I could eat wheat. So, oh, that's cool that it's your favorite vegetable. I don't know if I have a favorite vegetable. That would be up at the top though. I love asparagus season. That's one of those things I want to start growing. It takes a while. It takes a couple years before it takes. But I ripped out my zucchini today, you guys. I already had 5 of them sitting here, and then I got 4 more today. And I'm like, nobody even wants it because everybody's got zucchini. So I'm like, this is coming out so I can start planting for, later in the season. Yes, I am a football fan. Actually, Reba, I did not salt it at all. I put onion powder and garlic powder on there. I don't salt my vegetables when I cook them. My husband's a type 1 diabetic. I don't salt anything until it's done. So, yeah. And what I put on there was garlic and onion powder. Just so you know. Yeah, salting it twice would be crazy. Yeah, see, I know purists, they snap them, and that's fine. Like I said, you do you, man. If that's what makes you happy, you do it. So, um, anyway, so we're waiting for this to heat up. This is got about 3 minutes left before we can pull that out of there. I'm going to grab a plate for when that gets done. Ooh, remember when I said I had to make taco seasoning? I have to make taco seasoning. Maybe we'll do that on Taco Tuesday. We're going to do the Skyline smash burger tacos, but maybe I'll make some taco seasoning too while we're at it, just for fun. I love my taco seasoning mix. Now, I make it spicy for people that I know that like spicy when I give it away. But if you just want a good basic, like for tacos, for chili, that kind of thing, this recipe is really, really good. So I will try to put the recipe in the description before the video on Tuesday. IT guy's actually getting them ready for me. But anyway, yeah, it's funny that Reba, when you said that about salting it twice, I have a great story about that. My mom salted everything before she ever tasted it. And we were like, someday you're going to get burned on that. And she's like, oh, I love salt. I'm good. This was a woman who like craved salt so badly when she was a kid. She'd put it in her hand and lick it out of her hand. Um, and wow, 20 loaves. Wow, that's amazing. Good for you. Della, that's awesome. I have a recipe for a gluten-free bread that actually has the texture of a bread. It's more like a whole wheat bread, but it's at least got a bread type texture. And I made my cucumber sandwiches on it a couple weeks ago, and so I thought maybe I can adapt that. But it says to do it exactly as they say, but I'm going to try to play with that recipe and see if I can get a good zucchini bread out of it. And if I can, maybe we'll make that. So next week. But this is starting to just bubble a little bit. So what I'm going to do, so it gets evenly cooked, I'll just come in here and, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but like some of the ones on the bottom are turning that lovely bright green, but the ones on the top are still that very pale color. So I'm going to get those down in there. Lid back on so it can do its thing. Yeah, that's me too, Joan. I like them. I like them to have a lot of crunch to them. The Hubs does not. So I always get mine out and then cook his a little more. we have to do our, make things work for people. I'm going to give the potatoes a little shake. See how we're doing? Oh yeah, those are getting nice and they're starting to crisp up. I'm going to pull these off just to make sure. But I'm going to, let's see. Let's go 6 minutes. But while that's, I'm going to put these back in after I put some cheese on them. And I made the small ones because IT guy will try it. I'm not sure it's going to be his favorite thing. I'm sure that's what he'll say. Not my favorite thing. Especially since I don't have any American cheese. He prefers American. So I'm going to do, one of these is Monterey Jack and one of them is Havarti, I think. So this one, they have one that's got the smaller squares of cheese on them, and I prefer that. But I'm not sure what happened there. So there's that one. And then I'm going to do cheddar cheese for IT guy. Melt that. Anybody else nibble like that? Yeah, I like the thicker ones too, Christy. My husband likes the thinner ones, so it works out for us on that particular thing. And then there's other things like I like crispy fries. My husband likes them not quite so crispy. So like all those little crispy ends, if you like crispy fries, I get to eat all of those because my husband doesn't really like them. So that's always exciting. I'm trying to think what else. There's a couple of other things like that where he likes one thing and I like the opposite. So it works out really, really well for us. We can share things, and if things aren't exactly quite right, we're both happy because we each get. Oh, that's awesome. My grandpa used to grow it when I was a kid too. Pop that back in there just to get the cheese melted on it. They're starting to look at them. They look so pretty. So, like I said, I will probably pull some of these out of here for me. Today, I think I'll just put a little butter on them. Sounds like the right thing to do. So, yeah, we do complement each other very well in some of those ways. But, Yeah, the thing about that, Joan, is you get really spoiled when you've got access to fresh like that. I'm sure, like when you started eating it from a store, you're like, what is this stuff? I mean, I remember my dad had a garden, and I loved, like, we would go snack in the garden. We would get cherry tomatoes. What else? We'd pull the cucumbers. My dad grew peas, and there's nothing like grabbing a pod of peas off the vine and eating them as a snack. They are so delicious and sweet and wonderful. And the first time I had, um, I think it was canned peas, I was like, what is this? And they're like, peas. And I'm like, this is not what peas taste like. So yeah, I was kind of spoiled that way. What do we got here? Check this. Okay. Those have melted, so we're about to put this all together. Turn this off. I'll start plating up. Can you guys see the plate okay? So yes, fresh garden peas. See, that's my Indiana neighbor. She knows. Especially those early peas in the early spring when you're getting like the first fresh food of the season. You're like, ah. So, alrighty. Pull out the cabbage burgers here. IT guy, if you can hear me, you can come down and if you want to try one. Okay. I'm going to eat this small one right here. I may take a bite of IT guys just because it's got the take the lid off of this so it stops the cooking process or slows it down at least. Make one for IT guy. You want asparagus or no? Nah. Okay. Whoa, cheese pull. Just in case you need it, love. I like your granddaughters. Della, I love that. They do that. We used to do that. My grandparents lived in a house and moved 3 doors up, and the house was still standing there for a very long time. And we would just go down, and my grandpa had grown asparagus, and it would grow wild. And in the springtime, especially when my cousins would come into town, we would all go down together and we would gather up a bunch of asparagus, and then we would take it up to my aunt and she would cook it. The other thing we would do is they had mulberry trees across the way. Again, before I was allergic to all that stuff. They had mulberry trees, and we would go pick just a big bunch of mulberries, and then my aunt would wash them, and we would have a little snack of cheese and mulberries that we would eat. So I'm just going to put a little bit of butter on this. So it does give me pleasure. As a matter of fact, my next door neighbor, her granddaughter loves cherry tomatoes and grape tomatoes, and I grow those every year. And every time her granddaughter comes over, she asks if she can come over to my house and asks her grandma if she can come over to my house and have some tomatoes. And she knows. I don't care if she does, or she'll text me and ask me. And I will just, it just gives me such joy. And at the end of the season, we were just all kind of sick of the cherry tomatoes. And I asked her if she was coming anytime soon, and she's like, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, she'll be here in like 2 days." I was like, "Great, tell her to bring a bucket." And she brought a little bucket, and she took a little bucket of tomatoes home. And she was the happiest kid, happiest 9-year old in town because she got to eat some cherry tomatoes, which I think is phenomenal. So anyway, um, we'll start with the asparagus, which is, we've talked about it. I like mine a little more al dente, so it does need to be cut unless I'm sitting here eating by myself, and then I'm poking it and I'm just eating it from one end to the other. So just letting you know, I'm a heathen. What can I say? Um, mm, I told my husband I want to create a food forest in my backyard, and he doesn't want to move. And we've talked about moving, and I think he knows that's the one way he can get me to stay is if he lets me make a food forest in our backyard. Oh, hmm. Well, this year I wanted to grow some more stuff, so I talked to my neighbor, and she's wonderful. And I said, "Listen, would it be okay if I put a garden in your yard?" Because I used raised bed gardens, and she was like, free food, and I don't have to cut my grass. She's like, what's the con of this? So I now have another garden thanks to her. Thing is, it gets very different sun than my other gardens, so now I'm kind of relearning. Um, is your cabbage done enough, or have you even tried it yet? It's good. Is it too crunchy for you? Mm. Well, if I did it again, maybe we should marinate it because it's still a little crunchy. So it might be a good idea to steam it. And I may do that like when I do Mr. 513's. I may put foil over it so that it kind of steams the cabbage in there because it is a little crunchy. Um, the asparagus, on the other hand, perfect for me anyway. And then those quick and easy fried potatoes. I'm gonna grab some of those and we'll try those. But the burger tastes fine. Like I said, the cabbage is just it's a little crunchy still. But the nice thing about having the smaller potatoes is they get nice and crunchy really quickly. I don't know if you can hear that as they go onto the plate. You can hear the little crunchy business of it. So it goes back. Will you get me the ketchup? What? Talking? What does that mean? Do you want potatoes? Okay. I have to just point. I don't know what that means, silly man. Anyway. Yeah, he'll probably like the potatoes the most of all. And if you want to just take your burger off the cabbage if it's too crunchy for you. So anyway. Okay. IT guy's assessment of this, because you know he's always hilarious. Um, he says it's meatloaf with a bad delivery system. That's what he would say. So anyway, I think I do agree with him. They're not quite cooked enough, but I think for future, I would maybe marinate them in something too, so they have a little more flavor. So I get where he's coming from, but that just cracked me up. So, uh, well, IT guy's making the best of it. He's taking a bun out of the pantry, and he's just gonna make a burger out of it. So, will you hand me the ketchup? So we're gonna try these potatoes. I've never quite done them this way, throwing them in the air fryer like that. They did get a lot smaller, though. I will tell you that, which is fine. That's hilarious. But then tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow we're doing enchilada casserole. Oh, I love that. It's so good, and it's pretty easy to make. So we'll do that, and then we'll maybe make some things to go along with that. But that'll be our main dish, and then we'll make some either some sides or some dessert or something like that to go with it. Mm. Okay, those are good. Um, so it's an easy dish. I have some lovely gluten-free tortillas that I can use that also happen to be high fiber, which is really cool. So I'll share those with you guys. And so yeah, I am not mad at all about the dinner. Like I said, I will probably the the cabbage is not quite cooked enough. I'll microwave what I ate, and I'll do a low and slow for Mr. IT or Mr. IT, Mr. 513. And there you have it. So we've got a fairly healthy dinner. We've got our potatoes that were roasted, not fried. We've got our asparagus. We've got our burger that has extra fiber in it because of the lentils. And we've got our cabbage. So, which I will, again, probably microwave the ones that I've already cooked and do everything a little bit slower. So, and we did it in about an hour. So I'm pretty excited about that as well. You know, if you guys do this on your own where you don't have to be in front of a camera, this kind of stuff can go much, much faster. And when you think about it, though, we made 4 dishes in 1 hour. That's pretty good. So, anyway, as always, I wish you a wonderful afternoon. Remember to eat well, to be well, and I'll be back tomorrow at 3:30. So, I will see you guys then. Love you guys. Bye-bye.